My name is Murphy Taylor Jr. I was born in Beaumont, Texas. We moved to Oakland, California in 1943. We came to California on a troop train. This was during World War II. And so all trains were designated from the East Coast to the West Coast was reserved for troops. And I sort of remember troops giving us their seats because they saw this lady with these three little children, and they felt some empathy for her. Originally, my mother had 10 children, 2 brothers and 6 sisters. We were raised pretty much in West Oakland, California, in the projects on 24th and Chestnut Street. Initially, we lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. At that time, there were probably my mother, my father, Jules, my oldest sister, me, Ruth, Beverly, and AC. All lived in that 1-bedroom apartment. There was a lot of that in those days where people came from the South and had no place to stay, and they stayed with their family, as we did when we first came here. We probably lived there for maybe 3 years, and then we got a 2-bedroom apartment. We felt that it was quite luxurious. Anyway, there was a real community in the projects of West Oakland where families knew each other and protected each other, and so we were able to live quite a happy childhood growing up in the projects. My mother was an incredible woman and an incredible mother, and she was our protector. She lived for us, our children, and I really can't say enough about my mother and my relationship with my mother. I went to McClymonds High School in Oakland. I graduated in 1956. I went to San Francisco State throughout my college experience. I was the first person in my entire family to go to college. My first job, I got a job when I was 12 years old. I worked at the Boys and Girls Clubs from the age of 12 till 20. After I graduated from college, I got a full-time job at the Boys and Girls Clubs. And after that, I worked for the juvie department in Alameda County. And then after that, I got a teaching job, and that was my career. Just to go back a little in terms of my history at the Boys and Girls Club, my older sister, Jewel, had a powerful influence on my life. Jewel helped my mother in every way when she was a very young girl, taking care of all of her younger sisters, combing their hair, and cleaning the house, going to school, and she did it all. And she was a very big help to my mother. Watching my sister do all this work, I decided that I didn't want to be a bum and just did nothing in the house. So I wanted to get a job. And so I went to the boys club and asked for a job. My experience at the Boys and Girls Clubs was profound in my life. I really felt the need to make a contribution to the Boys and Girls Club since I hadn't gotten so much out of it. My brother and we spent almost all of our time at the Boys Club. I mean, we were involved in basketball and boxing and chess and checkers and so I didn't have much interaction with my younger siblings. In fact, sometimes I feel as though I didn't really do as much as I could have done with my younger siblings growing up. But that was that was my life. Oh, now we have a great relationship. I was reading this article not too long ago, and it was basically making the point that probably the longest, most enduring relationships are between siblings. Yeah, we have a very good relationship. We do a lot of activities together. Yeah, it's a good relationship. Getting a teaching job, I had always, even as a young boy, I always wanted to be a teacher. I always admired teachers. It seemed like they had the best job possible because they were not only helping young people, but they had the summer off and I had a steady job, a respectable job by the community, and so I always wanted to do that. And so yeah, teaching was probably my greatest accomplishment. The boy I adopted came through an adoption program. His name was Robert McCoy. He was a very likable child. He interacted very well with our family, and he had no family, and so it was almost a natural for me to adopt him. Education is key, not necessarily in terms of getting a good job and that sort of thing, but just in terms of widening your experiences, and setting goals, and not being superficial about those goals, but setting realistic goals, and be determined to follow through on those goals. That would be the advice I'd have for young